Why is it that sometimes in life it can feel like there is so little time and there is so much to do, but other times that there is so much time and so little to do? I think it comes down to giving in to how society has kind of broken up the work week. And I have been trying to pursue kind of a productive life, one towards a mission, a goal, for a long time, it feels like. And it's going to be a long time yet to go. And on Fridays in particular, sometimes I feel to myself, my goodness, I don't really have people to hit up. But then I think again, if I did have people to hit up, would I be wasting my time hanging out with them by virtue of wanting to essentially not be lonely? My name is Tarab. I make videos about emotional intelligence every day, and I'm going to talk to you while I paint for the sake of convenience, hopefully efficiency, and a way to jog my creative muscles. So I got home from work around 3 p.m. Work's going really good because I'm spending a lot of time on it, building out the team, scalability, all of that. But when it comes to balance, oftentimes I find myself at a loss, being a young man, pursuing what my ideologies of greatness are, which is essentially being incredibly productive, wise, and useful in society. It comes with the territory of necessarily walking a lonely path at times, wondering to yourself, am I doing what is best for my soul? And the reason that I believe this is a requirement is because this is one of the many sacrifices that people don't talk about when we think about doing bigger, greater things in life. The sacrifices that many of the people that are actually making drastic changes in society probably had to go through at one point or another. And on days like this, it can be awfully depressing to want to work on a Friday evening. You might think to yourself, well, I don't want this life. And I hope to some degree that you think to yourself, how is it possible that people can want this life? A vision is necessary. Affirmations are necessary in order to carry that vision through. Consistency is really the only way to get to the end. And if we let our emotions, or at least the doubts that we have about our path, creep in, on occasions where we can actually make the leaps and bounds, on occasions where we can make the strides, then our momentum will be halted, or at least hindered. And those beautiful moments that are waiting right around the corner may very well get a little further away every time we decide, hey, I'm lonely, and so I will go and seek comfort in numbers. So I advise being careful, very, very careful, either way, in isolating yourself from society, from the people that love you, and also in assuming that because you are with people, that it is the right place to be for you. The stereotypical response to such a question is find the balance, find what's good for you. And for me in particular, I'm still figuring it out. And I think the beauty of the whole process is that it never really gets figured out. I think many of us lead our lives with the assumption that one day we will have the answers to everything. We will reach some sort of enlightenment in our journey. And though I am very, very far, or perhaps on a different plane altogether than the meditators of the past, the truly wise monks, perhaps, I believe that each of them has also had to go through something very similar. Essentially persisting in the face of discomfort. So I'm making this video as almost a journal to you, to let you know that it will never be easy. Anything worth doing will never be easy. And that you better question yourself. You better question whether or not you're spending enough time with the people that you love. You better question whether or not the path that you are on is the one that will lead you to the truest you. My goal when I started all of this was one of understanding what power means, in a human sense, but also in a natural sense. To understand power, I had to put myself in positions, and I still have to put myself in positions, where I am very responsible for the outcomes of the things around me. Meaning leadership positions where if I do not do the things that I say I'm going to do, that there will be no progress, essentially. No meaningful progress, at least. And I'm beginning to realize that in order to accrue power, you must have incredible respect for yourself, which sometimes comes at the expense of respect for other people. I remember the dean of my university used to catch a lot of flack from a lot of people for not being compassionate, or for not perhaps delivering on promises, or for stealing ideas and whatnot. And I went back and forth a lot about my judgments of the man, in a personal sense, but also as a leader. And as I grow older, as I pursue more and more, perhaps, involving situations in life, more soulfully involving tasks, more soulfully involving decisions, I'm beginning to realize that a lot of the reasons why we dislike people is the same reasons that we dislike ourselves. That I saw that this man was able to fund tremendous projects, and that he was also able to shut people out, is probably me seeing that capability in myself. Which at the end of the day is frightening, quite frightening. So in making a channel about emotional intelligence, the idea is not to always say to you that I know the answers, that I am the most emotionally intelligent person on the planet, because frankly speaking, I probably never will be. The idea is to document the pursuit of attempting to become more emotionally intelligent. And hopefully delivering some sort of account of a life that is pursuing a specific goal. So on this Friday, as I sit here painting and talking to you, I walk around painting and talking to you. It is something that I'm thinking about. Hey, do I wish I had more friends? Do I wish that I spent more time with people that are my age, or with my family? And if I did, what would that mean for my goals and aspirations? Would it strengthen them? Would it make them more substantial, deeper? Or in the pursuit of comfort, would I lose the drive altogether and learn that perhaps the mission that I embarked on to begin with was not the one that I am meant to be on? Meant to be on. What does that mean? There are thoughts, my friend. I came to the conclusion recently, actually I wrote it on this whiteboard. What was the conclusion? What you do is who you are. What you do is who you are. Simple enough, right? So ironically enough, perhaps the route to becoming a more emotionally intelligent person isn't necessarily even thinking all the time, isn't necessarily even valuing all of the thoughts that come across our mind, or all of the doubts that we have, but rather a series of actions that will allow us to feel better about ourselves as human beings. Strange conclusion to come to after all this time embarking. The funny part is, this is such a small part of the journey. When I think back to when I first started this, it wasn't very long ago. And where I'm going is going to require many nights, probably like this, questioning, concerned, mildly lonely. So if you take inspiration, if you take anything away from any of these videos, I'm glad. Gary Vee said something very recently on, well, I'm sure he said it a long time ago, but it was documented on Instagram, on the various social medias. And he said something along the lines of, we don't live a very long time in this world. In the scheme of life, unless you believe in reincarnation to some degree, our souls, our thoughts, our actions don't live for a very long time on this planet. And that might be obvious if we also look at the reality that we are not created, or we are not allowed to live for a long time on this planet. Meaning millions and millions of years, billions of years have gone by. And if you don't believe in the idea of reincarnation, which I flirt with at times, that essentially means that you are born for a very, very short blip of time. A very short series of events, series of thoughts, series of connections. So to me, it's like, if my life is this short, how do I juice it the most? And that was kind of the conclusion that he was saying. So perhaps I'm parroting, but I do respect the man, or at least his image. I respect the idea of trying to do more with life. If that means discomfort, that means not knowing, so be it. But if it means doing it at the expense of other people's happiness, at the expense of other people's well-being, that's where it starts to become difficult for me to rationalize. And that's where, as a leader, as someone that aspires to be a pillar for my community, starting with obviously my family and the people watching these channels and things like that, I can't rationalize being cruel or spending that time alone. It must help someone in some way, and hopefully in the process help myself. So yeah, 9 o'clock on a Friday night, I'm painting, right? I'm out here doing the thing, and part of it feels really right. Part of it feels really, really uncomfortable. So if you're at that point in your life, in any capacity, if you get to that point in your life, holler. Let me know how you feel. Let me know how you are dealing, and perhaps we can bond in the ether. Hope you found this video interesting. This painting has been kind of ongoing for a little while, and I never really know when I finish these things. They're more of emotional journals for me. A lot of my artwork in general is. So, hopefully you're enjoying them, and hopefully you're enjoying the evolution of this here painting. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Smash that like button for me, so that we can grow this bitch. Take care of yourself.